The Patriots had a weird win, didn't they? I mean, hey, you don't have to apologize for winning. Their defense is awesome. Their special teams is awesome. Of course, those two things are awesome. It's a Bill Belichick-led team. What's not so awesome is their offense. Only scoring 3 points in this one against, admittedly, a good defense, but still, you want to score more than 3 points even against an amazing defense. What I was interested in looking into was how much of it, if any, is Mac Jones' fault. I don't think there's much there to make it Mac Jones' fault. There's some, and we can start off with a negative play if we want to, the one you see on the screen. So, first thing, which I don't really put much blame on him for, is I've highlighted a New York Jets player who's going to be blitzing on this play. Now, he's going to get through untouched, and Mac Jones typically is not going to notice it, which typically I would put as a blame on Mac Jones. You want to notice this type of thing, and if someone blitzes and there's not enough protection on that side, you at least want your quarterback to notice it quickly. So usually I do put some blame on that. The quarterback, you have to know how to protect yourself. You have to be paying attention to that kind of thing. However, I think this is a bit of an exception due to what the play call is supposed to be. Jones takes a snap, looks towards his left because this is a designed halfback screen. I mean, you look all the way down the field, none of these receivers are trying to get open down the field. You have a halfback who, you can flip the ball to. You also do have an offensive lineman who's out and getting ready to block, making sure he doesn't block downfield just quite yet. And to be honest, I don't know exactly why Jones decides to not throw this one there. You have a blitzing guy who's going to be untouched to hit Mac Jones. You also have a couple other Jets players who are getting pretty close. They were touched, they were blocked, but they're still in a position where they could make a tackle. And I think for Jones, I think you got to just run the play or throw the ball away on a play like this. You don't really have a third option. It's really just throw the ball to the guy you're supposed to throw the ball to or throw the ball into someone in the stands. Jones instead kind of just takes the sack right there. So that's a fair reason to put blame on Mac Jones, I think. But when I watched this game, I didn't see a ton of that. I really didn't. I saw mostly just the situation around him being tough and Mac Jones really not having too much that he can do. I thought that was the biggest issue with the Patriots in this game offensively. Like, this play is a great example of kind of just how, listen, I've debated a lot on this channel. What's really the bigger issue? If you can't block or you can't get open, what hurts a team more? I think there's a debate to be had. You know what really hurts a team? When you can't block and no one's getting open, and that's the situation that the Patriots were in this one. You see that I have highlighted a specific Jets player at the line. Watch what he's going to do. Look at how when this play begins, you are going to see that as of right here, there is pressure. It's a tough spot to be in for Mac Jones. So, okay, pressure there, down the field. No one is open. Only one guy has even some separation over the middle, but, he's running deeper, and there are two safeties there, so you can't make that throw. Really, no one is open unless you want to make a dangerous throw, which you could do, but Mac Jones doesn't want to. Jones tries to evade the pressure, and if it worked, it would have gotten them some yards, but he did not successfully do it, so he ends up getting sacked instead, and that is an issue. Maybe you want to say, hey, you could have thrown the ball away there. Sure, that's an argument to be made again, but the reality is this is a tough situation for Jones to be in, and we're seeing a lot more of these tough situations this year than we were last year. This play is another just good example of how just things aren't working for the Patriots. I mean, you see the concept on the screen, which, okay, the way the concept appears to be that you want it to work is kind of the top of the screen. Those three routes right there, that's what you're looking at, the three that I made white right there, as the idea, I think, is that you have two Jets players who are kind of covering more shallow. You also have a couple players who are designed to cover further deep, but the hope is that you kind of, with only two guys covering shallow, either they stay further deep, you can hit the halfback underneath, or one of them goes to cover the halfback, you can hit one of the guys who are running further deep. The reality is the Jets just switch this stuff so well in their zone defense. They're prepared for this stuff. Watch how Jones takes the snap. He looks down the field, and again, the Jets are all over it. The Jets know where they have to be. The Jets know how to play this stuff, so there is no one open. Even on the other side of the field, which Jones eventually looks towards once he didn't love anything on his right, he looks towards his left. Nothing's open there either. So you're in a situation where no one's getting open. Now, sometimes these kind of plays can at least isolate guys, give them one-on-one matchups. And you could have made a throw here if you're Jones. You could have given your receiver a chance. And again, maybe that is a fair criticism. Maybe you could say he has to give his receivers chances more. Instead, he's just going to take a sack, which, again, they had to get to the 5-yard line right there. So it was a tough spot to be in regardless on a 3rd down. But you took a sack here, which you don't love because that does make the field goal harder. And while it still probably should have been a made field goal, this was a miss. And who knows, if it was a little bit closer, maybe that Nick Folk makes it and maybe they don't have to worry about, they don't need that, punt return at the end of the game. Maybe. Or maybe maybe it's a miss either way. I don't know. But you still would have liked to make it easier on your kicker. Now going over here, what's going to happen on this play is going to be another fascinating one where, again, it's just pressure. Watch both edge rushers for the Jets on this play. Mac Jones takes the snap. You're going to see him look down the field, and right here, both edge rushers are getting around their tackles. Now, for Jones, a bit of a deep drop, I think is fair to say. He already took it out of the shotgun and then stepped about 5 yards further deep. So part of this is a Mac Jones thing. If he kind of went a little bit too far deep, made it difficult on his tackles. I wonder if part of this is because of how much pressure was coming up front. Now he goes further deep and goes too far deep. That's part of it. Jones tries to step back into the pocket, and at that point, there's just no more time left. So maybe a receiver would have gotten open. Maybe he could have at least gotten some yards on this play. There was kind of something underneath developing, but he just didn't have time on that play. Part of it was because of him, and also part of it was because the offensive line wasn't blocking. So these are just some of the issues that really kept arising. Now, going over to something like this, I do still feel when I see that there are plays that are working, Jones is hitting them, and that's the optimistic thing if you're a Patriots fan, is he still, I do think, is doing a good job of running the offense when the rest of the offense is doing well, which is obviously what he did so great last year and what should have won him a Offensive Rookie of the Year award, in my opinion. The way this play works, it's going to be a zone coverage play. You have 2 receivers on the bottom of the screen. One is running a deep route, the other kind of running an out route. The idea is the first route clears away to corner into safety, the other route can get open. I'd like to see the Patriots do this stuff more often. Going to have a play action as well, get kind of the linebackers over to move in a little bit. I'd like to see them do more of this stuff and less of that play I showed you earlier where it was, I think there's an easier way for the Jets to know where to go and cover this stuff. Play like this is more difficult. Watch how when Mac Jones takes a snap and runs this play action, he is going to look down the field, and at this spot, there's an opening here. So Jones makes this throw, and they're able to pick up a big gain on that one. He timed it perfectly. He, threw it perfectly accurate. So we still did see that, and we still saw this in this game. Again, I know only 3 points, but there were a couple of missed field goals in there, and the Patriots actually moved the ball all right. They had over 5 yards per play, which isn't amazing or anything, but it's not abysmal either. They had more than double the yards per play than the Jets did in this game. It just, they still weren't able to put points on the board, which, listen, you still got to do, right? You got to make sure you're doing that. But at the end of the day, there is at least something to the fact that they were able to, were able to move the ball somewhat effectively. I don't think that their offensive performance was as bad as the Jets' offensive performance was, personally. Both defenses were great. The Jets' defense played great against the Patriots, which you expected that they were going to do. But hey, your defense played a little better. Your special teams was able to get the big play. So that's kind of, at the end of the day, you win. But, those are kind of the issues that they probably have to work on if they're going to be a real contender this season. At least that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.